Hi, I'm Natalie Schmidt from Tacoma Water, and welcome to the EnviroHouse how-to video on drip irrigation. What I'd like to do today is to just give you a brief overview of how you might set up drip irrigation in your own home garden. If you're just beginning with drip irrigation, my suggestion is that you maybe start with a drip kit like this one. And there's many different kinds, but they come with easy instructions, and they have all the components that you might need to set up a smaller drip irrigation system. And I've got a couple here that I've patched together, but some of the main components that are really important are these here. So what I've started with here are three components that are pretty essential to most drip irrigation systems. First, you've got your backflow reducer. Now this is really important because it completely eliminates the chance that water will come from out in your system back through into your drinking water system. So this part is really important, and all of your kits will come with one of these backflow preventers. The second component here is a pressure reducer. So this just makes it so the water coming out at your spigot here will not be coming out so fast that it blows any of your drippers off of your line. And so it just reduces the pressure so that it's the right pressure to have all of your components functioning properly. The third component, this guy, is a filter. And that's just like any other filter you'd use, like a water filter. And it just reduces the amount of debris, if there's anything at all in your water. You don't want it to get out into your system and clog your drippers. So that's the filter. And all of these will come with most of your drip irrigation kits that you might get at your local hardware store. So I'll plug these in here and screw them onto my nozzle. The next portion is the main line. And again, your kit will come with a length of tube that you can use as your main line. You'll have your main line that will run the water out to the various pieces that you might want in your irrigation system. So this is pretty easy. You'll just stick it right in to your filter, and now you can run water, just like a hose, out through your system. Now for this example today, I'm going to use our herbs here as our plants that we'd like to irrigate. And what I'll do is I can punch using this puncher that again comes with your kit, and I can punch right in to that main line and create just a little hole. And my dripper goes right into that hole. Just like that. So now I'll have drip irrigation coming right out of this hole. And you can have different kinds of drippers. These range from a continuous flow just out of this little spigot down to 2 gallons per minute, 1 gallon per minute, and there are multiple types that are available. These drippers can come in continuous flow. They can come in 1 gallon per hour, 2 gallon per hour, and basically all types in between. Your drip kit will come with several different types usually that you can use on different plants with different water needs. So for example, when I have a main line that comes through here, and I have different types of plants, some of those plants will need 1 gallon per hour, 2 gallons per hour, depending on what type of plants they are. So this way, I can use the same main line and I can plug in different drippers for my different plants on that line. Another thing I can do is I can punch in and I can add microtubing. So this microtube will just allow me to have a greater versatility in where I can go off of my main line to get to my different plants. So I have little connectors, again, that would come with any kit that you'd get, and I plug those onto my microtubing, and then I plug them just directly into my main line. And from here, I can cut the length that I need and just pop a dripper on the end. Like so. So you may notice here that my pipes or my lines are a little bit willy-nilly out here. They're all over the place. What I can do is I can stake them down to have them stay right where I want. And to do that, just use really simple stakes like these, and you can just put them right into the ground. One thing you might wonder is, what if I change my garden from year to year? What if my configuration's different? Am I stuck with this same drip system as soon as I plug it in? And the answer is no. Most kits will come with these very handy little gadgets, and these are called goof plugs. And they're called goof plugs because if you goof up, you can add these in to plug any line that you may have put in that you don't want anymore. So, for example, that I've put my hole right here in my line, and then I think, oh no, I didn't want it there. I can use my goof plug and I can just plug that hole. And now my main line is secured and back to normal. So I can punch in somewhere else on the line instead. If I end up wanting to use this later, I can just pull out the goof plug and stick in my line or my dripper. So there may be some times when you'd like a little more flow or a different type of flow than you might get from your drippers. One thing that you can have available to you is something called a micro sprinkler. And that's something that might look like this here. So this sprinkler basically sprinkles just a little bit of water. It's not like a big sprinkler that you'd see on a lawn. And it comes with its own stake, and you can just stake it in the ground where you'd like it. And then to connect it to your drip system, you use just the same methods that you would for any of your drippers. You take your micro tubing and you cut it to the length that you like. You punch in, and I'm going to just remove this one since it's here. Okay, so for the same thing, I would attach my connector to my micro tubing. I'd punch it in to my main line, and then I connect this micro tubing in the same way as a dripper up to my micro sprinkler. And I stake it in the ground, and I'm done. So now I have a line here that has drippers, it has micro sprinklers, and all of these are on my pressure regulated system so that none of the heads will pop off and everything will be functioning as it should be according to the manufacturer. So once you've got all your drippers and all your micro sprinklers in place that you'd like, what you're going to want to do first is to flush the system. So in order to flush the system, you leave your end open and you just run water for a second to flush out any debris that might be in your system. So I'm going to turn the water on here. We'll see the water's coming out, and that's probably just right, just to get any dirt there. Now I want to close my system, so I don't want water running out here. To do that, really simple. Your kit will come with something like this, and you'll thread it on the line. Then you'll just fold over your main line and put the other part through. And we've capped our system here. Now, if I want to run it, I turn the water on again. And I have my sprinkler, I have my dripper, and anything else that's on the line. I want to make sure that my sprinkler here is going in the direction that I want it. And this can hit any number of plants that I might have in this area. So there are endless ways that you can adapt your system to have drippers, to have micro sprinklers, and anything else you might find to link into the system. And you can sort of piece this together just like you would with Legos to make a system that works for your garden. So again, I'm Natalie from Tacoma Water, and thanks for watching this EnviroHouse how-to video on drip irrigation. We encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video, and we'll see you again next time.